Hi folks, it's Tanya here, otherwise known as Tartan Taz. Welcome to my creative arts collaboration video for the month of October, Think Pink. I have started by cutting out a template that I'm going to use to cut out the two pieces to make my dotee doll. I'm using an orange fabric today in honour of October and the colour of pumpkins. I'm using the pins in order to identify which is the front and which is the back of the material, as that material is really quite difficult to recognise. I've just cut out a piece of pink felt for the face. But what you can almost see me doing, because I'm afraid I'm not as close to the camera as I would like, is using the blanket stitch in order to make the eyes and the eyelashes, and just an ordinary running stitch for the nose. I do try to bring the face and things up to the camera as much as possible in order for you to see, but again, there have been some bits that I didn't realise I was off camera. So again, just an ordinary running stitch to do the lips. What you've just seen me doing is tipping out some small beads, and very shortly we'll actually be bringing the face up to the camera very close to try and show you exactly what I'm doing. I've left this part of the video in real time in an effort to try and give you some detail as to the stitch I'm using. At the moment, unfortunately, you're not able to see much, but I'm going to rectify that in a moment. I'm going to show you more closely me doing the blanket stitch with the bead in between. So I pick up a bead, put it on the needle. A little bit tricky at times. I have a little bit of bother sometimes to actually pick up, but then I finally get one. I put it onto the thread, and I'm going to bring the face up to the camera, and hopefully you will be able to see what I'm doing in closer detail. So I can see it's in reasonable focus at the moment, but I think I move slightly and maybe my fingers might get in the way a little bit. But I'm trying to look what I'm doing and look in the camera as well in order to see what you guys can see. And of course, as always, I get the thread wrapped around the pin, but I've rectified that. So there's two beads that you can see, blanket stitch with the bead in between. I'm going to show you one more bead being sewn on, and then the video will go back to time lapse. So there you see me putting the bead on the thread, and I'm just about to pick up the face and bring it to the camera. For the blanket stitch, you're going in the face and then bringing the needle out at the edge through the material. I'm afraid my fingers are getting in the way at this point, but I'm hoping that you're getting the gist of this. And once the stitch is pulled tight, you can see the bead. So now I'm going to sew the rest of the beads on round about the face, and when I come back I will be almost finished sewing in the beads. And here I'm back in time lapse, and you can see I've almost gone round the complete face. I've just brought up to show you the last bead being put into place, and that's me just tying off at the back, tipping back the beads and just tidying my workspace. I came across a ribbon with a little heart, so I thought it would be neat to cut out the heart and sew it on. I've sewn it onto the left hand side of the dotty doll, as our hearts do lean to the left. As I was sewing, I realised that the ribbon was actually fraying, so I thought, I know, I will try some matte medium just to stick it, and hopefully it will stop the ribbon from fraying completely and just falling off the dotty doll. For my next embellishment, I chose a purple ribbon. Now, the reason I chose purple is because purple is for survivors, and as I myself am a survivor of cancer, it seemed only fitting to use. After all, the theme of this month's hashtag is Think Pink, which is essentially cancer awareness. So at this point, I would like to remind everyone, boys and girls, to look after yourselves. You know, if you find something that you feel is suspicious, if you feel uncomfortable with something, ask, go to the doctors. Girls, always check your breasts, go for your regular tests. You know, these things are all important. And think pink. You know, pink is the symbol of breast cancer. It's not just girls and women who get breast cancer. Men get breast cancer too. So please look after yourselves. We want more survivors for the dotty doll to represent. What I'm doing here is sewing the beads in place on the inside of the dotty doll, and just to the right you will see that I have the loop that is going to end up being on the outside on the inside. So I'm just going to clear up and set up my sewing machine so that I can sew around the edge of the dotty doll, leaving a space in order to be able to turn it the right side out. I'm just a couple of stitches back and then forward and then going round. I don't think my fingers get too much in the way in this instance, but it is quite awkward with all the beads and things inside, and you will notice when I do turn it the right way round that actually the shape isn't quite as neat as I would like it. But hey, we all have our quirks, we're not perfect, and so really it's probably a truer representation of a survivor. So you can see I'm now turning it round the right way, and you can see that I've got a little loop at the top and I have the beads dangling at the bottom with a little purple bell. What I'm using to stuff the dotty doll is a little bit of scrap, the inside of a quilt. I previously made a quilt and I had some left over. Wadding, that was the word I was looking for. It's some spare wadding. So I've stuffed the dotty doll and I am now just sewing up the part that I had left open. This is us now coming to the end of my video. If you would like to make your own dotee doll, please bear in mind that your dotee doll is yours. It can be any shape, it can be any size. I have done dolls that were stars, circles, heart. I've added a couple of extra examples at the end of this video, including my Christmas dotee doll. Thank you for joining me today. If you like what you saw, please leave a comment or give me the thumbs up. Or if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.